Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and I'm finally getting around to doing my review of the latest release from the Vaultmeister at the Zappa Family Trust, and that is the Fillmore East shows of 1971. I had already done a video about the final show of that tour that wasn't supposed to be the final show of that tour, but turned out to be the final show of that tour at the Rainbow Theatre in London. Also released with this was the CD set here, and what we got is a lot of music, and I'm going to be honest, I have not listened to everything. I just, finding the time and listening to it, but there are a couple of things that have struck me so far and during my listens. I'm also going to include a couple links in the Down Under to some other channels that have done very thorough and very good reviews of the Fillmore East material. And that would include the video that was created by Bill's Box of Sound. I would encourage you to take a look at that one, as well as the one that was created by Shaggy at the Opinionated Hippie. Both of them do very thorough reviews of the material, and their reviews focus on different elements in a way to provide a very, very broad picture. So check out those links in the Down Under. I'll also have a link to my Zappa playlist, but which includes not just my videos on Zappa's and the Mother's material, but other videos of related content that I find. And I'll also have a link in the Down Under to the Rainbow Theatre show. So let's get started here. So the original release of this show at the Fillmore in New York, of course, was on these earlier recordings. I have an original that is on the Blue Label Bazaar. I also have another copy that is a Jacksonville pressing on the Reprise label. So, and the interesting thing that you learn while listening to not so much this release, but from listening to the CD set, is that the song order here on the original releases is very contrived and does not follow the sequence, the set list, the actual show. So things were, and part of it was also, making things fit, on an album. By and large, of all this material, even if if you're a true vinyl geek like I am, then of course you're going to want to get the vinyl release in this amazing trifold jacket. I mean, they just did a really nice job with this. So yeah, but if you're not a really hardcore vinyl collector, then all you need is this. This covers it all. And so what it does is it has shows 1 and 2 from June 5th, 1971, then shows 1 and 2 of June 6th, 1971. And then, so that's like the first 4 CDs 4 or 5 CDs. I mean, there's, in the box set, you've got all these, the different CDs, you know, in here. We're talking 8 different CDs, and that includes the Rainbow Theater show. So you don't even need to buy the vinyl issue of the Rainbow Theater show because, you know, it's on here. But then, you know, this also includes the State Farm show, arena show that from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and has some bonus tracks of some radio spots and some singles, which it's Bill's Box of Sound. He talks more about those. And then, you know, the first 5, roughly 5.5 CDs are the 4 shows from the 2 nights. And then the booklet is really quite cool as well. And what is really interesting to me is the interview with Ian Underwood. Really, truly interesting interview with him about, you know, what was going on. There's also an interview in here with Jim Pons, who was playing bass, who somewhat takes a self-deprecating attitude regarding his performance and contribution. You know, he does a really great job. But this brings up some couple things that I noticed, and particularly listening to the CD set. And that is Ainsley Dunbar. Ainsley Dunbar's drumming is absolutely incredible during these shows. And, you know, Jim Pons mentions that he feels like he didn't contribute a lot to the rhythm section, that he's just, you know, he was surprised that he was asked to play. He's not that skillful a bass player. He's perfectly fine bass player, but it is true that Ainsley Dunbar was the rhythm section, and he was just, his drum, again, it's hard to describe. He is causing me to rethink my preference for Jim Gordon, particularly during the Petty Wazoo tour. I still think Jim Gordon is probably the better drummer for the material, but I hear a lot of the type of Jim Gordon fills and drumming going on with Ainsley Dunbar. It's just really, really amazing. And he has a drum solo on one of the tracks that is super, super incredible. And it's part of one of the King Kong sets. And his drumming, when you're listening to it, it has a quality and feeling that is reminiscent of Ginger Baker's solo from Blind Faith, Do What You Like. However, Ainsley Dunbar's drum solo is, to me, far superior to Ginger Baker's solo on Do What You Like. The subtlety of his playing, you know, moving from frenetic tempos, and then there's this part where he's keeping the time with a hi-hat. So the beat is being there with the hi-hat, but everything else he is doing is outside of the beat. All right? So it's like, it's just amazing to hear the skill that he was displaying, you know, during these shows. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. That is one of the elements that really blows my mind with these shows that comes out in the CD set. The other thing includes the variations of Billy the Mountain. Now, Billy the Mountain, was later released from the Pauley Pavilion show. And that would have been, that occupied an entire side of the LP. And as a consequence, a lot of material was eliminated, edited out. Even that song on Just Another Band from LA, I think it's like 24 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall at the moment. But the entire show was in excess of 30 minutes in these performances. And they play it, they're during each of the shows. So there's like 4 times that they're playing it. And hearing the subtle differences in the way they were presented, to each audience was really quite interesting. But the other thing is the solos that you do not hear on Just Another Band from LA. All right, incredible guitar solos. And then also on the I think it's the 4th CD. Yeah, the 4th CD, an amazing Don Preston synthesizer keyboard solo that is also thrown in there. In fact, that CD3, where they, they're doing these call outs to audience members. Yes, we will do Status Back Baby. Yes, we will do Concentration Moon. Yes, we will do Mom and Dad. It was really quite interesting to hear these songs, particularly Status Back Baby. Flo and Eddie really make a good contribution to that song, singing it. And the other, also, he says, yes, we will play Petrushka, because, of course, that was part of, there's a segue in a quote from Petrushka, Stravinsky's Petrushka, in Status Back Baby. So it's just really, really great stuff. Then, of course, it has the full material that of John Lennon and Yoko Ono in that encore performance that they did. And it's a much better presentation of that entire performance than what you might get on Playground Psychotics, or even what you get on the Lennon release, which I have that, and I probably should have pulled that out, in which you can see he kind of aped the cover of the Fillmore album, with some of the, liner notes, but it was all like marred and doctored up, and could be taken as somewhat insulting, if you were Frank Zappa. Then the other item that I found really, really, truly gratifying are the different variations of King Kong. Now, King Kong is one of my favorite Zappa compositions of all time. And it is a very, very versatile composition. And you hear that in, particularly with this box set, the CD box set. And, on the original, you have the song Lonesome Electric Turkey. It gets its own name, but the thing is, Lonesome Electric Turkey is actually a section of the King Kong performance, with Don Preston on the Mini Moog. So, that's just a portion of what the entire composition sounded like. So you've got these 30-minute Billy the Mountains, and then you have, the King Kongs, are in excess of 20 to 25 minutes. From the second show on June 5th, if you combine, because they do separate Lonesome Electric Turkey, but we're looking at, let's see, 19, 23, 24, 26, 26 and a half minutes, nearly 27 minutes of, King Kong. It's just amazing. It's just brilliant. So, in conclusion, perhaps, what has caused me to kind of rethink what I think about the Fillmore album, the Fillmore shows. In my previous review of Fillmore, I do mention that, the Flo and Eddie material is, probably my least favorite of all the different periods of music that Frank and the Mothers did. But I believe I point out that doesn't mean I dislike it, that I think it is, grossly inferior. There are people who feel that way, who just simply do not like the Flo and Eddie years because of its puerile content. And just musically, to them, they feel it was a cheapening of what Frank was doing with his other material. I don't go that far. I enjoy it. I grew up with that era. I mean, when these records were first released, I was 13, 14 years old. So this is when I was listening to them. And, it appeals to the prurient mind of a young teenager, listening to the antics. And, it was like, oh my God, they're saying don't fuck with Billy. They said fuck on a record. That kind of, reaction. But listening to these recordings, I'm not necessarily going to say I'm going to elevate the entire Flo and Eddie period, but this material here, along with 200 Motels, because that's Flo and Eddie material there too. They do the Latex Solar Beef. No, that's not what I want. The Shove It Right In suite. They do that repeatedly with these, with these particular shows, and they're great. Just really, really enjoy listening to them. So, to get some more information, perhaps a little more nuance about the performances, I recommend that you listen to the Opinionated Hippies review, as well as Bill's Box of Sound, both exceptional reviews. That's, my thoughts on it. My bottom line is, unless you are a true vinyl, preference and you really don't care that much for compact discs, I would say this is all you need to buy. You don't need to buy the Rainbow Theater release, and you don't need to buy the vinyl reissue, which again is really kind of just the highlights of what from this. This has it all, and it's high quality material. Sounds great. The vinyl material is great as well. All right. The only one that I think is, even from collecting a vinyl perspective, the Rainbow Theater is, I got it out here. I guess I really don't need it on vinyl because, I just don't feel that strongly about that release, maybe as much as other people do. I mean, it's from an archival and historic point of view, it's really quite remarkable and amazing. But as an overall Zappa release, I would put it in the non-essential category. And besides, like I said, you got it on this. So there you go. I'll have those links in the down under. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Also remember that you can find me on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is newsdude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And where I not only have started to share content that is related to music and vinyl, but I also, share other photography that I enjoy shooting with my phone. And that includes things like, wall art and graffiti and architecture and, and flowers and scenery. So there you go. Leave your thoughts in the down under. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.